I know this video is a little early, but what else is there to talk about? And I thought it would be interesting to focus on the people that are already on our team and looking ahead to how much better our team will be this year than it was last year. What am I referring to? The 53-man roster. Now, we have had OTAs, minicamp, but we haven't gone into training camp yet. And there are battles to be fought, positions to be won, and this list may change. But when I saw this, I said, didn't I do this last year? I think it was a little later, this a little earlier than it was last year. And now I want to do it again. And that is the 53-man roster prediction. Now, I don't expect this video to do well. They kind of never do. But it is something to talk about. So let's get right into it. Now, this is coming from Dave Burkett. What I'll do is I will put a card up at the end of this video for you to go back and look at last year's early 53-man roster prediction. And let's take a look at what he has to say here. All right, so let's start with quarterbacks. On the roster currently is Nate Sudfeld, Jared Goff, Hendon Hooker, Adrian Martinez. Now, don't forget the NFL has allowed you to keep an emergency quarterback on your roster that will not count toward a spot. And that is a big deal. Now, who makes the 53-man roster? Here it is. He has Sudfeld, Goff, starter obviously is Goff, with Hooker on the non-football injury list, very similar to Jameson Williams. Probably won't be back until September or sometime in October. He will not be ready to start the season. On the roster for the running backs, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamar Jefferson, Craig Reynolds, Mohamed Ibrahim, Greg Bell, and Jason Kabinda. Now, let me go back. I actually agree with the quarterback positions. That means that Adrian Martinez could go to the practice squad, so that should be something to see. Now, as far as the running backs are concerned, let's see who he has making the roster. All right, he has in Montgomery, Gibbs, Reynolds, and Kabinda, which means that out would be Ibrahim, Jamar Jefferson, and Greg Bell. This, I think it's really, I actually give the edge to Craig as well. If you go back and you watch the preseason and even the season, the few chances that Craig got, he actually did shine, and there's a reason he keeps making the team. I'm not sure if we keep Kabinda. I know it seems like we don't really use him a ton, but maybe we'll start with David Montgomery being the running back, the lead running back now. So Montgomery, Gibbs, Reynolds, I actually can go with that. I think number 3 is Reynolds has the advantage, but I think it could go between him. It could go either way because we've seen Jamar ball out as well and make the initial 53-man roster last year, I believe it was. Kabinda, I'm on the fence about if we will keep him. Now let's go to the wide receivers. Now he has us keeping 5. I disagree. I think we're going to keep 6. We've kept 6 the last 2 years, I think. Maybe in 2021 we might have had 7. On the roster now, St. Brown, Raymond, Reynolds, Jones, Jameson Williams, Antoine Green, Tom Kennedy, Maurice Alexander, Trinity Benson, good old Trinity Benson, Chase Cota, and Dylan, not Dylon, Dylan Drummond. This is not making the band. Who makes the team? Out of those people, those receivers, who does he have making the team? He has St. Brown, Reynolds, Raymond, Jones, Green, and obviously Jameson Williams suspended. Now, we know that a receiver will have to be on the roster, so maybe we'll keep 7. And then we'll be able to make room for when Jameson Williams comes back. But I think we go into the season with 6. Maybe that last one is Tom Kennedy, Chase Cota, something like that. And then maybe something happens when Jameson Williams comes back in the middle of September or October. I'm sorry. So I think I agree with that. Antoine Green, we did draft him in the 7th round, so it wouldn't be a surprise if he made the roster over the remaining free agents. And, of course, Tom Kennedy is always Mr. Reliable. Okay, let's go to the tight ends on the roster. Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, James Mitchell, Shane Zylstra, and Derek Deese Jr. Okay, so I'm going to say Laporta, Mitchell, and Wright will make the roster. He says Laporta, Mitchell, Wright in that order. I could see that. Mitchell could have a big camp and be number 2, but I pretty much like that lineup right there. The offensive line, it is too many people to name here. Why? Because we have 18, a third, almost a third of our initial roster, of our 53-man, of our 90-man roster. Well, 18 people of the 90-man roster. So what is that? Almost a fifth, right? So almost a fifth. I can't do math today. Almost a fifth is offensive line. We'll probably carry 9 like we usually do. And let's see who he has. I'm not going to read all these people. Let's see who he has making the team. He has Decker, Jackson, Ragnow, Vitae, Sewell, Glasgow, Nelson, Sorsdahl, and Easy. I could see that's making the 53-man roster. We actually saw Easy on Hard Knocks get cut. So out of the list that we have left, I don't know. I think Jermaine could make it. Darren Paulo, he's been on the roster before. Max, he's the guy that came from part of the IPP program. Ryan, these guys aren't going to make it. So I think it could be Stenberg, who he doesn't have making the roster, and it could be between Affetti, in my opinion. So those are the offensive linemen who make the team. As I said before, we have 18 offensive linemen part of that 90-man roster. Then we go to the defensive line. We have Hutch, Kaminsky, Pascal, Harris, Houston, Okwara, both of them, Zach Morton. Interior D-line, that was the edge. We have Aleem McNeil, Isaiah Buggs, Levi O, Broderick Martin, Benito Jones, Kristen Covington, Chris Smith, and Corey Durden. Let's see who Burkett has making the team. Hutchinson, Kaminsky, Pascal, Harris, Houston, Romeo, McNeil, Buggs, Jones, and Martin. So that leaves out the other Julian Okwara, Zach Morton, obviously, Levi Onwuzurike, Benito Jones, Covington, Smith, and Durden, right? Yeah. Yep. I don't know. That one's going to be tough. We're going to have to wait until the preseason. Okay, so linebackers, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jack Campbell, Anthony Pittman, Jalen Reeves-Maben, and Trevor Nowosiki. 6, let me see. I'm going to pick Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Rodriguez, Jack Campbell, obviously. Jalen Reeves-Maben. That leaves Anthony Pittman and Trevor. I'm going to pick Pittman over Trevor. Let's see who Dave has us taking. He has us taking Barnes, Anzalone, Rodriguez, Campbell, Pittman, and Jalen Reeves-Maben. So pretty much the same thing. Now here's, we have 11 that we're going to carry, probably defensive backs. Sutton, Mosley, Jacobs, Harris, Lucas, Starling Thomas V, Gilmore, Dorsey, Williams. I'm going to tell you right now, these last 3 aren't going to make it. Safeties, Walker, CJ, GJ, Joseph, Brian Branch, Savion Smith, Melifonwu, Brady Breeze, and Brandon Joseph. Okay, so out of the safeties, Walker, Johnson, Joseph, Branch are here to stay. Melifonwu, maybe. Smith could be special teams. Brady Breeze, no. Brandon Joseph, possibly. So let me see. I don't know. That's going to have to see after camp. He has in Sutton, Mosley, Jacobs, Harris, Thomas, Walker, Johnson, Smith, Branch, Melifonwu, and Smith. I already said Smith. Thomas, yeah. What did I say? Thomas Walker. I said Smith. I am going to say, okay, so basically Breeze got cut, and who else? Yeah, like I said, so if you take Brady Breeze, Gilmore, Dorsey, and Williams, that sounds about right to me. And the specialist, which is the kicker, on the roster, McQuaid, Badgley, Fox, Patterson, Romo, and Scott Daly. We need 1 kicker, 1 punter, 1 long snapper. This is going to be tough. I'm going to say Badgley, although Riley, I don't know. Badgley is obviously Jack Fox, the punter, Michael Badgley, the kicker, and McQuaid is going to be the long snapper. Who does he pick? He says it is going to be Fox, Badgley, and McQuaid as well. So there is the Lions 53-man roster, the way too early prediction. I don't really see it changing too much without some surprises. I think that's pretty legit right there. Now, the thing about that is there will be some cuts after the last training camp day. There will be some cuts. There will be some people on different teams that we could come snatch up, and it's going to look a lot different than it does at the end of the preseason than it does at the start of the preseason. Not only the cuts, but a couple people from different teams who need teams will pick up. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, I'm gonna leave two video cards in this video. One is going to be his initial prediction from last year, and one is going to be the actual 53-man roster before we started the actual season last year. So I know this video was a long one, but we had a lot of stuff to cover. Let me know your thoughts below. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. Hey, Siri. She's not talking to me now. Hey, Siri. How many days till September 7th, 2023?
It's 73 days until then.
There you go. 73 days into the NFL season. I'll see you in the next video.